Hey folks, this is George. I'm from the Diabetic Review on YouTube. This is my first YouTube video, but I wanted to go ahead and get started with my first kind of rundown and review of the supplies that I use and devices I use. As you may have seen from my channel, I've been a type 1 diabetic for going on 20 years now, and I've been using insulin pumps for the majority of that time. I have gone through the first 5 or 6 years of that just on shots and different types of insulin, but I'm currently on Humalog, and I use the Omnipod, and I will certainly go into further detail with another video with this. And I certainly encourage, as you viewers may get any questions about a particular device or scenario, certainly send them my way, and I'll do what I can to address them in my next video. And today also, just recently, a couple months ago, got the Dexcom 7 Plus CGM, which stands for Continuous Glucose Monitoring device, and I absolutely love that. And so between these two, and kind of show you a little trick that I got. So I've got these two devices, my insulin pump, my CGM, and when they're in my pockets, I've got Velcro on both of them. As you can see, it's just basic, $1, $2 Velcro thing that I got at Walmart. So that way, when they're in my pockets, or for girls or women out there, it might be easier to keep track of it when it's in your purse to have them together. One nice thing that I like about these two devices is that actually, from what I've read, Omnipod, which is from the Insulet Corporation, and Dexcom, I believe, are in talks of working together and putting together a device to kind of kill two birds with one stone, and between these two devices just have one in a comparable size that can communicate with both the pod, which has the insulin, and the sensor for the Dexcom, in which case it would be kind of like a man-made pancreas, checking your blood sugar and adjusting accordingly with the insulin pump. I will say, I'll focus mostly on the Dexcom today with this first video. The Dexcom has got to be the single most wonderful thing I've ever gotten as a diabetic. It checks my blood sugar, I believe, every 3 or so minutes. So at any given point in time during the day, I can kind of take a look at it, whether it be at work or at home or playing a sport, and check out where my blood sugar is. You certainly do need, you're certainly suggested from Dexcom to calibrate it and check your blood sugar with a pinprick, I believe every 12 hours. I do it at least once every 24 hours just to kind of get a general gauge. It's usually within 20-30 units of what the actual blood test will show, which I believe is pretty good in this day and age. So the FDA did obviously approve that. And with the Dexcom, I've also noticed that it's much more reliable as far as the device that you actually put in your, whether it be in your leg or on your stomach or in your arm. I use my upper thighs, I use my stomach, and I use my arms as well. And I rotate between the left and right side of each of those, between the Omnipod as well as this sensor. So that way I don't get any kind of buildup or anything like that. But I have noticed that the Dexcom, they do allow it to be on you for 5 to 7 days before it tells you to switch it, which is nice. Because with my Omnipod, it's every 48 hours. You have to change it. It expires. And I've noticed too, is for those of you who do have experience with it or experience with other pumps, I really don't receive many errors at all on the Dexcom. and an error would include whether the sensor was bent or something like that. I've noticed that the quality of the product is far superior than anything else I've ever seen. Not necessarily within the CGM market, because it's such a new market. They really don't have hardly any competitors. There is there may be a Medtronic device, but I know that there's also what's called the Navigator, which I was unable to get. They said that they had stopped supplying them in the United States. I will say with the Dexcom, for diabetics looking to apply for it, or parents looking for getting it for their child, that the insurance process was difficult for me. I do not have Blue Cross Blue Shield or United Healthcare. I have a smaller health insurer, but they did deny me 3 times before I finally was able to get through. Really, the key was getting a letter from my endocrinologist, my doctor, stating that I needed it. Even though my A1Cs have been between 5.5 and 6.5 for many years, the insurance company is saying that I don't need it. That if I had taken less care of myself, then they would have covered it. Well, I don't know of an endocrinologist that wouldn't write the letter for you, even if you do keep really good control of yourself, to make sure that the insurance company does get it. And in my experience talking to the Dexcom representative, it sounds like they've had good luck with it with the other larger insurers like Blue Cross Blue Shield and United Healthcare. I'll say the ongoing costs of the materials, they can be pricey compared to some other devices, but again, with the insurers, you shouldn't have to pay any more than 20% of that. I would also suggest when you get a letter of from the doctor, Dexcom will require an additional letter stating that you need it and the amount that you need. I'm currently on my last sensor, and I've tried to order another set of them, but they will not let me because I was only allocated so many boxes for so many times. Dexcom does have a great help desk and sales support and tech support. What I was able to do is call them and get them to overnight me a demo, just a basic sensor for free, which was great. Wonderful help, because they knew that I just needed some help until I'm eligible for another shipment. So I'll say I've had great experience with them so far. And even if you are on just on syringes and insulin, whether it be Humalog or whether it be 70/30 or Pedra, some other longer term type of insulin, then I would still suggest this device. For me, I'm very active, play a lot of tennis, go to the gym, love to travel, and as diabetics know, with traveling it can be tricky, getting on different eating patterns and snacks. It's a lot easier and it's so much more comforting being able to always see where your blood sugar is and where it's been, and how kind of volatile it's been. Because I know that a lot of times when I'm traveling, it'll be, I may be getting high or I may be getting low, and I may not quite recognize it as I normally would. So I've had great luck with that. Now the receiver, the Dexcom receiver, this is not waterproof. Just as the Omnipod is not either. But the device is the piece that's on your leg, the sensor, that is waterproof. Just as the pod for the Omnipod is also waterproof. So I've had no issues with that. Again, I've had the Dexcom for going on 3 months now, and on a 10-point grading scale, I think right now I would have to give it at least a 9. It's been great. It's got a rechargeable battery, which is also nice. So I don't have to have a bunch of AAA batteries or anything like that in storage. So it comes with a nice wall charger, and usually one full battery will last at least 3 days. And it only takes an hour or two for it to get a full charge. So that's been good. It's got a great LCD screen and LED light as well. Very easy to read. It's very user friendly. So again, I would strongly recommend the Dexcom device, especially for folks that are more active. And it's also, I think, for folks that may be newer to diabetes, or even if you're a type 2, I'm not sure if you would be eligible to get it through insurance, but it's just so incredibly helpful to see the patterns when you look at a line chart, or bar chart, and you see these dots going across every 3 minutes of where your blood sugar is at. It does have an alarm, which is wonderful, especially at night. If I'm sleeping and it's 3, 4 in the morning, and I can feel or hear an alarm, it will alarm me if it's dropping, or if it's low, or if it's increasing. It's got different triggers, and you can adjust those parameters. So for someone who's more comfortable being, having an 80 blood sugar at night, which I'm not, I'd rather be between 100 and 150. But someone who may be comfortable being 80, 85, they may want to lower their threshold before they get an alarm. It's also very helpful too if there was something wrong with my Omnipod and I wasn't getting insulin for however many hours, and all of a sudden I've got a really high blood sugar. It's very helpful to know if my blood sugar is dropping, from 300 to 250 in just a matter of minutes. Obviously, I'm not low yet, but it's certainly on the fast track there, which with this device I've been able to kind of do a lot of damage control before I get down to 60, 50, 40, where I could really be in trouble and go unconscious. I'm fortunate that in my 20-year history I've yet to go unconscious or fade from a low blood sugar. So it's more preventative measures. So, but I do encourage all of you all that may have further questions, or may be thinking, why didn't I address one thing or another regarding the Dexcom 7 Plus, certainly add a comment or send me a question. I would love to answer the questions I can. I don't want to skip over something that may seem obvious. So please shoot them my way, and I look forward to future videos. I think my next video I will focus on the Omnipod and my experience with that. And then any other further suggestions, I will certainly take them. But in the meantime, hope you all have a great day.